Oh, I'm muted the entire time. I'm checking if the stream is going. Let me stream if the stream is happening right now. It is. We are redoing color predictions. Um, oh, I was ready to edit the video. All right, here's the story. For those who missed out, redoing color predictions. Wait, let me just announce it on Discord. Redoing color predictions because right after I finished mine, they actually announced what patch will be used, and I was completely wrong. So we're back. We're back in the fray, I guess. Um, we're restreaming again. We're streaming again. We're gonna do color predictions again. We're gonna talk about these color teams very differently over how we talked about them last time. And there will be a bunch of changes. I don't think there will be a lot of changes, but I think there will be a bunch of changes. And as per usual, as per the last time we have done this, we will be doing it this way. We will be doing the normal predictions. The normal predictions are just the predictions that, in my opinion, are the most accurate, the most sufficient, and probably the best predictions I could make. And then we will be making another set of predictions, which is ones where I think is a bit more crazier than that. Um, but yeah, I mean, we're redoing the predictions. This is also going to be turned into a video, so if you can't stay for the whole stream, don't worry, you won't miss out much. I have opened my brush, I've opened Photopea for this very moment. Maybe wait, let's this time. I'm gonna make sure to make a new. How do you make a layer? Layer. Yes, thank you. S'mores, I'm the biggest fan. Can you sign my forehead? No, no, thank you. Also, if V4U is watching this video, I saw you guys clip the video or the stream on Bilibili. Please clip this instead. It's, I was, I didn't know it was the January 15 patch. GG made it to Koa, unfortunately. Yes, we're gonna talk about GG in just a bit. I want to first, though, start talking about what we did wrong. Is this the GG hate stream? I wish it is, bro. S'mores, can you come? Is it your birthday today? Happy birthday if it is. If it's not, tell me what your birthday is. Maybe I'll show up. All right, wait. Before that, let me explain some context because I know I'm streaming this at a very different time. The last time I streamed was 12 hours ago. That was noon. Now, for everyone who missed the noon stream, I actually redone my color predictions already. But there was one key assumption that I did wrong. The key assumption is two things. First off, Queen Bee was going to be available. And second of all, it was the January 29th patch. Why is that important? Because they just announced that the patch to be used is going to be the January 15th patch. Your birthday is January 10th. Hey, that's gonna be a long time before I get to greet you happy birthday. But I'm gonna explain why the January 15th patch, that the way they said that is relevant. Because if you look at the characters that were nerfed and buffed in that patch, you're gonna notice that the buffs that came and the nerfs that came with a lot of these characters was actually during January 29th. Why is that important? That's because that means we still have base QS. We still have pre-nerf Ivy. We still have 18-second Hullabaloo. So many of the things that we were using to theorycraft during that noon stream is completely wrong because it is a different patch. So that's why we're redoing the predictions again. Because I was under the assumption that Queen Bee is going to be available, that we're going to see 16-second Hullabaloo, that we're going to see nerfed Ivy. That's not the case anymore. So now we're going to redo everything from scratch. Or to be fair, not really everything from scratch. Oh, the B4U official account is run by someone else, the one in Bilibili. Dude, who runs a Bilibili account? Please, whoever, please, if you watch this, please click this. Thank you. Um, Now, I'll tell you what has maintained pretty much in the first predictions that we made. And here's what's gonna stay. I'm gonna tell you first, the one thing that's gonna stay first is RC first in Group A. RC is still the best team in Group A. It's still one of the most consistent teams in Group A. No way in hell this team is gonna be placing anyone below in Group A. They're just too good. They're literally the team to beat. Is Queen Bee gonna be in Koa or not? It is not gonna be in Koa. So there is that. Um, that is also why we're redoing the stream, by the way. But Queen Bee is, or sorry, Queen Bee is not in Koa. I will be redoing this RC. I'll be saying that you put P for you fifth and send it to Bilibili account. I'm not putting B for you fifth. But yeah, RC's first is gonna stay the same. The second thing that's gonna stay the same is Wolves at first. I still think Wolves is gonna be a good team. So I'm gonna put them at first for that matter. Aha has the best Ivy, so he's definitely winning Koa with pre-nerf Ivy. Exactly. RC is now all of a sudden the favorites to win. Initially, I had it as Seta. And then there was like this entire Group A conspiracy theory where since Group C won last Koa and Group A won last Koa, there's a pattern and now Group A is gonna win again. Which I feel like all of a sudden with everything that's happening, RC is gonna win this entire thing. But let's put Wolves first at first. I still think they're one of the more consistent teams in Group B. I think every other team has inconsistency issues. I know that Wolves isn't so high at everyone's list because of, not having Flight 7, the entire fiasco with all of its other members. Maybe the chemistry is not there. I still think when we compare it to GR, whose rescuer isn't good, to GG, who dude, how did this team qualify? No one knows. To Axis, who doesn't have Tuna, and that seems to be going a lot worse for the team. To X team, which I guess they're there. Yum all of a sudden said I'm him and became better TZYM, but still, Group B regardless. Wolves is a much more consistent team out of all the other teams that were there. So there's that. That team stays at first. Now, the other things that I'm going to change, or the other things that I'm going to keep, is that X team is probably still fifth. And so is AR. Oh my God, I can't draw. Can I make this smaller? Yes, I can. Let me make that 10. There we go. Wait. All right, 5. I'm going to also put AR at fifth because those ones will stay the same. I will put Omni at fifth. I will put PRR at fourth. I will also put, oh, this one will change a lot. Oh wait, no, actually no. Before you still say Kurt, actually, sorry. Yes. So these are the ones that aren't gonna change. So for my initial predictions, out of the 20 teams I had placed, only 7 of them will be the same from last stream. And that's because a lot of the changes we were theory crafting a lot based on the changes that might happen in Koa, but none of those changes are coming. We are seeing still a very similar patch. I think it is just about the same patch as the qualifiers. Now, those are pretty much the same still. AR, I'm gonna get into AR a bit when I make my more bolder predictions. I do have some things I want to talk about with AR. Omni PRR isn't getting nowhere. Okay, this team, there was a chance that Omni and PRR could have upsetted these three teams because of how inconsistent they are. But with pre-nerf Ivy, no way in hell. They are three really good Ivy teams. They're not getting upset. Hello, Smart IDV. Hello. We're redoing this stream because I got clipped in Bilibili, and then they said that Queen Bee isn't available and all of that, so now we're redoing it. Yeah. Anyways, from the 20 predictions I had, only 7 stay. So now what's changed? Here's what's changed. First off, I'm going to start first with Group D because the one thing I will change in Group D is I will actually put MRC first and Zeta second. Again, this is kind of a coin toss, but I think if we are really looking at current patch, I think MRC is going to be a bit better. Of course, this is a lot harder to predict because we didn't see Zeta ever play against a Qist, a Qist tournament, like a tournament where Qist is available. But thinking with how everything else is going, I would just rather take MRC over Zeta right now just because I've seen significantly a bit more experience with MRC versus that QS. I also think one thing that we need to understand is that this meta is also defined by insanely random picks or picks that are just off the meta. We've seen that so much in China. I don't think Bloody Queen is going to get picked by MRC in the first round. Surely not. But I do think that having that option is always going to be something that is going to be a bit problematic for Zeta and really any team that would face MRC. Group C is going to be peak tree of the best IVs in the world. Indeed, it is. I'm going to get into that later. The other thing that I want to change though is that Alex is going to go in fourth and RT is going to go in fifth. I only found out really recently that Alex actually had the number one hunter in Asia server during the Koa season. I actually had not known this prior to making predictions. I was very clueless on Alex. I think with that information, though, I'm almost kind of confident that Alex is going to be winning over RT. Yuzupon is a solid hunter in my opinion, but I feel like in a game of, longevity, once the games go to three, 4 rounds, maybe even with overtime, Alex is going to be able to withstand RT in that game. Zeta gonna at 2-0 MRC, mark my words. That would be insane. And I wouldn't say it's that out of reach. Again, those two are like a very coin flip match. I don't think it's gonna be, easy to debate who's a better team. I'm just picking MRC first because I at least know how this team fares in the Cubas matchup, which I think is pretty fun. So that's Group D. The other thing I'm gonna change is Group B. Now, initially, I think I had Axis at second, but I'm actually gonna now switch at GR at second, then Axis at third. I think this meta is not too much of a liability all of a sudden for the rescuers. It still is, to be fair, but pretty much it's a lot less much of an issue for them than it was if Queen Bee was out, which would have been just significantly problematic. But still, GR, I mean, I don't like talking about this team that much, but they're there. They're there. I mean, I still think they're gonna win over Axis. Axis is also just like survivor wise, Axis is gonna struggle a lot more. I think Axis survivors are not consistent at all. This qualifiers. That's just my thoughts. Maybe I was watching the wrong matches, but I mean that's my thoughts. GR as well, but the difference is that with GR you have the greatest hunter. So I just feel like similar actually to MRC or sorry, RT and LX. It's gonna be just a game of hunters 4King each other, and I feel like in a longer game, GR is gonna be the one that ends up winning that one. Albeit though Axis does have two hunters, so maybe that does put some weight in those shoulders. I still think though I'm gonna put GR now at second over Axis here, for that matter. Def GG fourth, actually still the same as last time, so I guess there isn't that much change there. Now Group A is interesting because I really fought hard about this. Um, I'm gonna go on a limb and say that DFM is actually going second. This is kind of a crazy limb, and this is gonna be better explained when we look at how China qualifiers went. Here's the thing, okay? I'm gonna keep everything. Okay, wait, hold on. I can't draw the number tree. Here's the one thing we need to understand about the qualifiers for group or for TE. TE, because I thought they were a consistent team, and they are a consistent team. Here's just one problem. Group B turns out was just, as I think about it, Group B is not a good group. The way TE qualified, I mean, I forgot if they beat GW ZS Lin in the finals. I can't even remember. Regardless, though, they all lost to Group A teams. So TE, I feel like I'm putting their qualification a bit more with a question mark on it, just because in the end, that group had absolutely no intention in competing following the lower bracket. It just feels as if TE is gonna absolutely like I feel like TE is gonna be one of the bigger disappointments heading into KOA because we saw a really good qualification from them. But yeah, I just feel like that's a big question. TE went neck to neck with GR. I guess that's true, but also GR themselves were inconsistent with the way Zero was playing. Serves could handle Gen. I guess so as well. I'm just really high on DFM. I also think this we're seeing DFM really turned to be a really good team. With very I don't know how long they have been together. That's new Survivor roster without Narisu. But yeah, like I feel like DFM is absolutely just gonna go ham on it. Maybe I'm going on a limb when I say our DFM is gonna win over TE. But yeah, in my opinion, DFM, I'm taking them as second. I am a DFM fan, so I'm probably hella biased. And then Group C is the toughest one for me, because really it's also what I said when I thought Ivy Nerf was gonna come in. But now that Ivy Nerf doesn't happen, all three of these teams are really, really good right now. Um, I'm still gonna take the same route that I did, which is actually, yeah, ACT first, Fennel second, and ZQ third. Holy, I cannot draw. There, second, Fennel, third, Boogs. So basically the same in Group C. I don't really have anything to say other than, I mean, they're all good Ivy mains. ACT qualified over ZQ, so I feel the inclination to put ACT above ZQ first. But at the same time, Fennel was also really good, but their survivors are significantly inconsistent. What I think is interesting about this read about Group C is how similar the prep is going to be for all of these teams because they just have they almost have similar character pools in that regard. But yeah, I mean, ACT probably gonna be first. I actually am gonna go on a limb. Maybe I'd put Fennel first here over ACT. So I'm putting Japan really above the Chinese teams this time around. Maybe just because I think that PP Cha is gonna benefit more from the fact that QS has yet to be nerfed in this patch, and then you still also have Hasha, who also has Ivy. And then yeah, Dream Witch mains as well. ZZ9 Dream Witch, I don't remember how good it is, but at least I don't think it's as good as Dongsha and Hasha, in my opinion. But still, like very similar character pools. The fact that all three of these teams ended up on the same bracket does make it so that they basically have almost similar preps, which is going to be really funny. I feel like we're going to see the same game with these three different teams. But yeah, I mean, this is as, as realistic of a prediction I can give you. Maybe if you're really looking at it and you're really like, you don't want to put DFM too high, we could do something like this where DFM is instead third, definitely above Weibo Gaming, guys. Weibo Gaming's too inconsistent. But I mean, I'm gonna go something like this. So two. So we have two, three, four, five. So that's the predictions, guys. That is the predictions to everyone watching. This is what I think will happen this KOA. This is how I think they will place, or at least if you look at it very realistically, this is what probably should happen. Now, as I said in the last stream, that shit never happens, guys. You know, the realistic thing never happens. And so we're gonna also make another bracket. And this one, actually, no, I'm actually just gonna use the old picture. too lazy to make another, too lazy to like figure this all out again. Oh my God. Uh, I can't, I can't make it smaller. Oh my, please, bro. Someone tell me how this goes. Close this. Can I close this? There. Thank you. I'm just gonna delete this entire thing. Uh, yeah, there we go. Love Fonto. I have no clue how to use this app. Anyways, now we get into the sauce. The sauce, right? Now now I had three bold predictions last time. And my three bold predictions, if I am correct, actually I think it was just two bold predictions. Oh no, it was three. It was GR doesn't qualify, ZQ places first, and B4U doesn't qualify. Those were my three bold predictions. But at the time, I thought that B4U, or sorry, I thought that this was nerfed Ivy, nerfed Q is buffed, Hullabaloo, Queen Bee release, so many other things. That's not the case anymore. So I'm gonna pivot and I'm gonna give you three bold predictions. Now, I still think bold prediction number one is ZQ still being a first place team. I think the ceiling that ZQ has as a team is still significantly high. Um, they have a roster and players that I think have proven they can be a championship level team. It's just a question of whether they'll figure it out before the time comes. Dunk shows, of course, is an MVP level hunter. If he walks in, he hasn't walked in a long damn time, to be frank with you. Um, you know, the survivors, I think Sans is great. He's back. That's amazing. Just so many other things that we can talk about with ZQ. I think when we talk about Fennel and ACT, I don't think they have that much of an aura as much as ZQ does, at least in terms of experience. But ZQ, I think that's the one bold prediction I'm gonna keep. I think this team has the capacity to be a top level team. All right, so that's the one thing that I'm gonna keep, but I'm gonna change a couple of things. I'm gonna give you two incredibly bold predictions. Okay. The first one is actually about B4U. I think B4U can place second. This meta is interesting in that I think Zeta gets like B4U is significantly stronger with Ivy not nerfed than with Ivy nerfed. And so I think now all of a sudden the paradigm kind of shifts because B4U, I think, with no changes to the hunters at all, could potentially be an absolute nuisance to Zeta. And funnily enough, and this is real what I found really fun. I actually think that Zeta, one of the things that I was thinking when I made the claim that B4U wasn't going to beat Zeta at all was actually the very simple fact that B4U, when they first faced Miko Melody, it was very predictable to see where Miko Melody is going to play. Um, the difference now is, of course, with the release of Peddler. There's just one problem. B4U has journalists. And funnily enough, that opens a door for them to have probably a really niche counter to that character that Miko Melody seems to have been enjoying a lot this IVL autumn. Is it still insane to say? Yes. Is it still possible for B4U to lose to LX or RT? Probably. But yeah, I mean, if B4U doesn't have the nerfed hunters, I think like it's a game of like I think B4U has the chance to do it. It's a bit of a bold prediction. After all, we're doing bold predictions. We're gonna go bold, okay? We're gonna absolutely go bold. So let's go bold. B4U at second. Let's put pressure on them. But I think realistically, and I also think of this in a sense that I think it's just smarter for B4U to just focus on these two. I don't think B4U should spend too much time trying to beat Zeta or MRC, at least if it starts affecting their preparation against the other two teams. I just don't think it's worth it. I also don't think there is a concerning second place team because I think the second and third place amongst all the regions are almost interchangeable. Maybe Group B would be your main concern, which does lead me to my Group B bowl prediction, which I will do actually later. Group A though is going to be just about the same thing. RC is first, but and I guess I'm going to put TE second. But I'm going to make a bold prediction because again, we're going bold, right? If we're going to go crazy, let's go crazy. Let's put AR at third. DFM fourth, Weibo Gaming fifth. Now that's crazy. I think the reason why is because I still think Hessian is one of the best hunters and one of the most underrated hunters in the scene. With the way that Weibo Gaming is playing, they're still incredibly, you know, they're kind of really struggling in terms of consistency, and DFM is inexperienced. I actually made the same bold prediction a while ago. I just completely forgot. But yeah, AR is there. I'm gonna be putting AR third. It is a bold prediction. That's why there were more predictable or there were more consistent, there were more analytical predictions. But again, we have to I think it's also a sense that we need to look at it the opposite way and look at what is the craziest thing that could happen within the realms of our analytic or within the realms of what we know. I think AR has the reach to be a really good team. At least in my opinion, I think the matches, even if AR places fifth, right, which I think is the prediction, I think that these matches, specifically between these four teams, actually, are going to be significantly closer than people are expecting. It is not going to be two O's within these four teams, in my opinion. I think it'd be surprising if it is, because these teams have really strong tools. I think my only issue with AR is that their fourth survivor, which is Joker, I think is a bit more inexperienced than the other three. Miapai, to be fair, is also slightly inexperienced, but he's technically got an international experience just as Hunter. PP and Yuki had already been competing since KOA 8. Actually, PP has been competing since KOA 8. Yuki since 7, I think. But I think he was coach, so I think she was coach. So I'm not so sure about that. But AR third, gonna make that my second bold prediction. My last bold prediction is a much more minute version of this. Wolves and GR plays take first and second respectively, but as per the tradition of GG never not making it to top four, GG is going to be third, X is fourth, and X team is going to be fifth. And I'm just going to say that the reason I'm putting this is because for some reason, GG cannot stop making it to top four. In every COA they've competed, GG does not stop making it to top four. Here's the thing. I hate GG with all my heart, okay? I'm a GG hater, but as I said in the last stream, all the hate of GG, I'm gonna be directing it to Omni. I'm gonna go over a rant on Omni again, but I'm gonna direct it all to Omni instead. And so I guess me and GG, we're in a truce for now. Okay? The way GG survivors are Kakiri would 4K them with eyes closed. That is true. I think though, I think the issue with GG isn't even their players. It's their coach, man. Their coach, their coach is cooking some of the stupidest things ever. Their coach, okay, Shaoma playing really stupid in the Zoom match. Okay, true. Um, they're the biggest frauds, and there's only one way for them to continue being the biggest frauds. They have to win. Okay, so GG is gonna make it to playoffs because for some reason, no, but because for some reason GG always does this. Have we, as 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 a community, have we not seen this story before? Like, actually, as a community, have we not seen the story of GG being ass and yet somehow still, for some damn reason, making it to playoffs for just God knows what? Then making it to top four as well. I don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows the answer to that question. Okay? Absolutely nobody. Guess which team also came through the Rapid Chad bracket in KOA 8? GG. GG. They almost lost to ZQ that time too. I don't remember. I don't remember how close it was. They almost lost to GG at that time, and then they only had to beat GW right after. Okay, now they had more. Back then, they had more of a case. I mean, I guess so, but they still they had more of a case to make playoffs. But then they placed top four for no reason. They just come in, be like, yeah, we came from the lower bracket, and now we're gonna go to top four like we usually do. And they just did it. Why does that happen? Absolutely no clue. This team is genuinely a cursed team. I don't know. They also beat GR in the process. I don't know why they're doing that, bro. It's so annoying. This team is genuinely so frustrating, bro. Why is Zeta third? Did I put Zeta third? Oh, you, if you're watching just now, I'll let you guys know this is the bold predictions. So if you scroll, I guess like 10 minutes prior to this, 20 minutes prior to this, those are the realistic predictions. Don't worry, I'll make a video cut version of this with just the realistic predictions. So that's a lot easier for people who are just coming to stream now. But these are the bold predictions. These are the bold. These are capital letter bold. They're not meant to be realistic. But GG, yeah, GG is one of those teams that just I don't know why they keep making it, but they do. And so I will like I'm done with this team. Okay, I'm actually done. Okay, I'm actually done with GG, bro. I'm actually like I hate this team, but also at the same time, I don't want to make a fool of myself, bro. Not even God is saving GG. God saved them from qualifiers. Zoo was like, yeah, guys, let's show all the matches. And then Shauma deadass said, let's show harder. How do you make this script? Who is doing this? They saw my video and they were like, we're gonna throw up until the last qualifiers, and then we're just for some reason gonna be, asking Zoo to throw the entire game. I sometimes wonder, please don't clip this. I sometimes wonder if GG paid Zoo, and that's why GG's contracts are not high. I sometimes wonder if the money they use for contract payment is used to bribe teams, bro. I don't know. All of that was a joke, by the way. In case I get clipped, please cut that disclaimer. But GG, I'm done. Okay, we are done. I, I, I'm done with this team. I hope you lose. I hope ZQ wins. Okay, we can finally have the Koa 4 moment. All right, we can finally have. Yeah, Zoo kind of treated X Team game too. Yeah, Zoo. I feel bad. I don't want to like be so mean because, dude, did you see the clips of? I think it was Shao. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but him. He was straight up crying. I just can't help but feel bad. Meanwhile, GG qualified, bro. God, we could have had peak instead. We got mid. We could have had round one and in every damn in four Koa games. But no, we got stuck with this guy. No, it wasn't. It was one of their survive. Oh, was it? I think it wasn't. Were they all crying? I mean, they may have been all just straight up crying, and I just didn't notice. It was Shao something. I forgot how to pronounce the name. It's spelled Shao Y, but I'm pretty sure that's not how you pronounce the name. So I'm watching it. To that one person on Twitter that makes IBL pronunciation guides, I'm waiting like on the doorstep. Please, bro. I don't want to be botching people's names here. But yeah, I'm pretty sure there was like a clip surfacing of just him straight up crying. And I can't help but feel bad for the dude. I can't help but feel bad for Zoo in general. Especially considering the fact that GG out of all teams ended up qualifying. God forbid. Man. Oh my God. PC mention. Yeah, I'm in the Twitter space. I don't post, but I follow I can see everybody. I know the peeps. But yeah, I'm just a lurker. But yeah, these are my bold predictions, guys. These are as bold as I can get. Uh, and now I think we can talk about who I think is gonna win and who I think could be an underdog. I think who's gonna win is RC. RC is gonna win. I think here's the thing, and I really thought about this a lot longer now. There are only three teams, in my opinion, that right now are in contention of winning. They are the favorites of winning. That's RC, that's Zeta, and that is MRC. Now, MRC, in my opinion, might also win, but who knows? I'm not really too high on MRC as much as I am on RC. Why MRC number five? MRC is not number five. What? It's you're looking at it the wrong way. Look at it like this way. I'm absolutely drawing this poorly, but yeah, it's the one to the right. Maybe I'll put an arrow here. I'll put an arrow here. Wait, where arrow? So you guys know where to look. Anyways, sorry, RC. By the way, okay, you just joined. These are my bold predictions. If you want more realistic predictions, either wait for the video or maybe go back 15 minutes. I think it should be 15 minutes. But yeah, these are my bold predictions. If you're gonna make cold predictions, please don't use these as your predictions. Anyways, going back, can we go back to that? RC Zeta MRC. I think here's the thing. RC, their main struggle is the very simple fact that Alf did not have the level of proficiency in meta that he should have had. This was kind of exploited heavy by Zeta, and this was most evident by Zeta not banning Hullabaloo in the round 3 to 5 matches. Now, here's the thing. With all that downtime, I just feel like RC would just have the capacity to win with that. And as I think some people have mentioned, also just having Ivy, Akka being one of the best Ivy, the fact that this meta as well is actually not strict on the first round pick, where back then maybe it's always Goatman, where maybe the initial predictions of round one was that it's always gonna be Qist. Now it's kind of just whoever you feel like. So in my opinion, I think RC uh with the way that Akka is, with the way that their coach is, they can not only pull up with one of the best hunter performances with both Alpha and Akka now being significantly more prepped, in my opinion. I think Akka is going to have much more proficiency in the meta, but also the very simple fact that this meta does incentivize off meta picks from the team because they just simply can. I think that's something that RC has an advantage on that MRC and Zeta do not. MRC and Zeta very much follow strictly on the meta. RC does not have that. And that's what I think makes RC such a good team. It's significantly harder to prep, it's significantly harder to expect anything, and they also had the additional downtime of getting better, which I think all the other teams do not have. The only other team I can see that maybe has that X factor, that factor of maybe having unpredictability is actually Wolves. Here's the thing though, Wolves as survivors are just not that good. So I'm gonna put RC as the favorites to win. And I'm gonna go over and just oh my god, I can't draw. Here we go. Ugh, there. Anyways, yeah, RC favorite to win. I need Akka to go Mad Eyes. I think, I think what's gonna happen is Anton is gonna play Mad Eyes, not Akka. Um, so yeah, if you want to see Mad Eyes, I mean, I think you gotta watch B4U instead. But Wolves don't have a very good Veraster Mania. There's also that. He's an Iris. This is this is your streamer, guys. But yeah, RC is my favorite to win. So Now the question is, who do I think is underrated? That like an underrated team that could win. I honestly think there are two answers to this. First off, I think it's ZQ. So ZQ, I think I mentioned this before, does have the ceiling to be a top contending team. The issue is that they're just past their prime. Deng Shi is old, bro. He is no longer the GOAT. Okay. He is not good enough anymore. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. But ZQ is it like I think they're underrated. I think they'll place high. Will they make it finals? Maybe that's a bit too crazy. But ZQ does have the ceiling. I think out of all the teams, I think ZQ has the ceiling. They showed it in the way they qualified. They have the him factor. All right, they have the him potential. Sans is a great player too. I just have so much. I love Sans so much. As soon as I saw Sans back in ZQ's roster, I knew this team was going to qualify. So there's that. Now the second team I think teams are going to be underrating, in my opinion, is actually the team right below ZQ. I think Fennel as well is a very underrated team. I feel like both, I feel like Hasha. Oh my, I can't draw! Okay, let me just. This team is interesting. I think it's because I'm a Fennel fan, so maybe I'm just being a bit too biased here. But I think their survivors, they have shown to be decent at least during the uh autumn regular season. I'm not referring to playoffs. Um, and we kind of know that this team has the potential. The issue is just LAN experience because it seems as if Fennel, when it matters most, is choking. That was most evident in their playoff matches. But it almost feels as if this team, they qualified pretty decently. I don't think the qualifiers was that bad. I also think that they have their system, and I'm gonna call it system because I just think it is. Their system is championship level worthy in my opinion. I feel like Fennel, like the Hunters of Fennel are MVP, can be MVP level. They also have the potential to be a really good team. They're just significantly inconsistent. Um, I just really like Fennel right now. The thing is, the survivors were a bit of a question mark this Koa season, and so I'm wondering whether that's gonna translate internationally. But still, I'm really high on Fennel. I think their hunter system is gonna work wonders. With a bit more time, Hasha is genuinely insane of a hunter in my opinion. I always love Hasha. Um, this team is kind of crazy. So I'm also putting Fennel as an underrated team. I think they could make it really deep if they could just get their survivors sorted out. If their hunters could play as they usually do, that's a team that could probably make it. By the way, then the question becomes, who's the most overrated team? Okay, there's a very simple answer. GR. GR is overrated. GR is absolutely overrated. I hate it when normies. Normies is crazy. I hate it when people who watch 2 seconds of Koa be like, GR is gonna win the entire thing. Guys, it's not that deep. I really hope AK could win. That's the one thing that I feel bad when I talk bad about GR, but dude, the rescuer is not gonna be. That's just complete liability on all fronts. I'm just not confident in GR at all. I think they're a very overrated team because everyone puts them in the same level as RC and MRC. But come on, guys. No way in hell this is the same league as RC now. Wolves MRC overrated. I think they're fine. Maybe it's because I genuinely think they're still below RC. And so I think they're fine in that position. But I feel like they're not that overrated, bro. Who's beating Wolves in Group B? That's the thing. Zero is clutch, yet one time, and then he threw the rest. Like I think I forgot which game it was. He did have one clutch moment, and I was like, oh my god, maybe he's onto something. But God, if it's like five throws and then you get one clutch, bro, we need to address the five throws first, bro. GR is not winning. Um, Also 18-second holla. So that kind of really offsets GR because Jin is a really good holla man. If it's 16-second holla, I think it would have been great for GR. I think they could go deep. It's not. It's 18 seconds still. Which, to be fair, Jin still plays pretty well in that regard. But yeah, 0 to hero, dude. I do I wish it'll happen? Like, part of me wishes it'll happen because the guy is getting so much flack online, even for me, bro. Like, it would be insane if this guy goes from one of the worst players to one of the worst players to being called a nepo baby to straight up saving GR's career, bro. It would be diabolical if that happens, bro. It is. I would actually say, like, I would make a 10-minute apology video to Zero if he ends up actually like having a large impact on GR's win. But no, I don't think that's gonna happen. I feel like people did want Wolves to win because of the upset last year. I mean, I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people. I feel like people though should know that Wolves isn't gonna be winning. He's a nepo baby, true. But but the question then becomes: if the nepo baby is really good, then what? And then what do we do about that? It's not like he wasn't qualified for the position all of a sudden, you know? Yeah, I mean, Wolves lost Mr. Two Personalities, bro. And I mean, Mr. Two Personalities for as warped as his personalities are, is gonna be a big impact to this team. Just is. Yeah, I made a severe last night judgment. GR, I swear, if he actually goes crazy out of nowhere, bro, I'm actually gonna make an apology video. I was shitting him so bad the other stream. This guy is so mad. He's so bad. I hate him, bro. GR made him work 16 hours a day to fix all his shit. Maybe he's like maybe he's in love with like AK, and so like just because AK is retiring, he just like started locking the fuck in. That would be hilarious, would it not? That would be a plot, would it not? It's so funny. I like genuinely laugh at the like shipping culture in Koa because I think I was seeing I don't get because I was reading something. It was like about Anton and like I don't get why he was mentioned. I'm like, oh, huh? What did Anton do last Koa? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, like it can happen. That's why everyone assumes he's a Nepo baby. I mean, he needs to prove that he can keep up with his team because clearly it's starting to become get into the IJVL, yeah. Who you co-wrote a Koa 9 fanfic? I feel like that is gonna be a stream one. We're gonna be reading all the fan fiction that exists. This is not the stream for it though, unfortunately. But that is really it's so funny. Schmitty and Spencer ready to be sent. Oh, I think I saw the post about that one. It is hilarious though. Uh, the only one that I know is the entire drama with straight man gaming. That shit took me out, bro. That was still one of the funniest things I've ever seen. It's genuinely so like so bad. Just it was so like I was just like, is this our IVL? Shitty and Silk? I don't even Silk that there. But yeah, I've been seeing the straight man. Oh my god, stinky, fucking, I'm gonna fry, bro. What? Why did you have to bring it out? You didn't have to call him out like that, bro. He didn't deserve that. Holy good shit. I like actually that took me out when I saw that one. I was like, oh my god. But yeah, this is I don't even know what you're referring. Started in Koa too? I don't even want to know. Alright, that's enough Koa. I think what I should talk about Asian games. Not sure if it's worth talking about. Uh I'm thinking. Because I'd like to see what I can talk about in Asian games without like absolutely like incriminating someone or something. I will okay. I'll let you guys know everything that I could talk about in Asian games. So before we end the stream, I guess. Asian games is an interesting one. So for context, to those who aren't in the Discord, I think it is linked down below. It is not linked down below. I lied. I shall send it in the chat in just a bit. But um, all you need to know about Asian games is that Asian games is kind of Asian Olympics. That's the best way to describe it. It is a thing that I think happens every 4 years or 3 years. I don't remember. I don't know if it's every four. No, it's every year actually. I lied. Is it not every year? When is the next? Okay, wait, hold on. Let me search it up. I'm gonna search it up on my phone. When is the next Asian Games? After 2026. Give me a sec. Give me a sec to fact check. But the point is, it's like Asian Olympics. Asian countries go out, play sports, etc. But they do have an esports division, which I think has been just introduced very recently. Isn't it every 4 years? It might be. Yeah, it is every 4 years, so I was right in that regard. But yeah, it's every 4 years. It's a really prestigious tournament for sports. And recently, I think it was just last Asian Games 2022, it introduced esports. This 2026, and actually since it was announced since 2024 that Asian Games, or rather, Identity V was going to be part of Asian Games. And that was a very interesting announcement that happened 2 years ago. It was kind of insane, monumental for a game like Identity V. There was a lot of things. And so, of course, as 2026 closes in, we started to see talks about other teams. And so the first one I think that was to release was Chinese Taipei. Chinese Taipei's is, I think, RD, but it was not the same RD as we saw in HMT. I think it included like Kasuga. I think it included like Guangshi. I forgot who else was in there, but it was a very different RD from what we know was what we know is RD during the Koa 9 qualifiers. The only person I think that was there is actually Zhenkai or ZK. He was there in that 2025, 2026 qualifiers for Chinese Taipei. The second one was the Philippines, and this one is the one I announced because if you guys already don't know, I am part of the Philippine roster. Uh, it is kind of insane. It is kind of a crazy thing to like talk about. There's so many things I could talk about. I could show a photo here, just straight up. This is actually me on the venue. So, uh, we and a bunch of other esports athletes met. at a live venue to talk about Asian games. I met with the team. There were a lot of things. This was honestly crazy when this happened. It felt very surreal. And I guess like there was a lot of like just a lot of talks about how things were gonna go. Fortunately, can't cover it because maybe it's a bit too confidential. But there were a lot of things that were happening. This happened, I think, last February, so I've been basically hiding it for 1 month, and it's so funny because I actually like there are so many, a bunch of people. Like there was, I think, okay, I'll show a message. Uh, wait, I'll show a message that I found really funny because there was someone that messaged me when the Philippine roster was announced. And it was actually someone that helped me quite a lot with my hunter. Uh, Someone that I have a lot of respect for. That I have a lot of that I could just I thank for a lot of my improvement in hunter, and that's actually Muyo. And I'm gonna bring up the screenshot here just for the record to show. But wait, I can't pull up the screenshot right. But he actually sent the screenshot, or he actually asked me when it released, whether it was officially released or was it a leak from someone. And I said, even I have no clue who these people are, even though I was right there, which is very funny. It was very funny seeing 2 weeks straight announcements or talks about this Philippine roster and absolutely no one knowing anything about these people. Very hilarious stuff. And then the other regions started doing their qualifiers. So there was Thailand's, there was Malaysia's, there was, I think this week is going to be Indonesia and Laos. And I think Singapore too is going to be finished there this week. There are so many things that I want to say about Asian Games. But it has been surreal because it hasn't like even started, it hasn't even happened yet, but there's so many things that are already going on. So many things that have happened behind the scenes. I think all I can say is that, you know, the IDV CC, the IDV competitive, uh, IDV competitive stuff isn't gonna be over after Koa. I feel like this Koa is just gonna be the start of a crazy year of IDV competitive this 2026. I think there's a lot of crazy stuff that's about to happen. I'm really excited to represent my country. I'm really excited to participate in this competition. And I guess it's like a lot, like there's gonna be a lot of stakes, of course, but it's interesting. But yeah, Asian Games happening this year. I hope you guys watch. I know that there isn't any EU teams at Asian Games because, well, it's in Asia, but there are going to be a lot of familiar faces from China, from Japan. Maybe if you're a follower of Southeast Asia teams, you will also see a bunch of people that may be familiar there. And of course, there's me. Root for me, guys, or something. I don't know. But yeah, I'm actually gonna end the stream here. Uh, and that's because I'm thinking because I mean to be fair, I think I have to go. It's 1:35 a.m. for me. But also, if anyone is curious about AG, um, do hit me up. Hit me up with a question. I'll try to answer to the best of my stuff. I do know a lot of things. A lot of them are confidential, but a lot I can disclose. I just don't feel like disclosing them too much on the stream. But yeah, Asian Games is interesting. I think a lot of people, it's because they don't know much about AG that there isn't a lot of hype surrounding it. But I'm telling you guys now, this is one of the craziest things that are happening in IDV, and it's really developing as time goes on. And yeah, I mean, there's that. But I think also maybe Nello will talk about it as well at some point. I keep mentioning Nello because I remember at some point he said he was gonna talk about it. He was in an official, he was commentating, and then he hopped in chat after the commentary session and was like, "Hey guys, follow me on social medias. We're gonna talk about Asian Games at some point." So maybe you'll hear something from him at some point. But yeah, I mean, AG is gonna be crazy. I'm very excited to be part of it. And yeah, I mean, first off, I hope you guys enjoyed my predictions. I hope you guys will get to enjoy AG once those that happens post Koa. And I'm gonna end the stream now. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a good rank, dear edit EU players, because I believe rank is happening right now for you guys. And I also hope you guys have a good day. I know it's morning in EU, maybe, or afternoon EU, and I think it might be morning right now at NA. Not entirely sure, but yeah, I hope you guys have a good day as well. And yeah, I'll be seeing you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for joining me. See you guys.